Hi everyone, before this video starts I'll let you know I have a code for a free Frostmare mount in Paladins. This was given to me by Devil, moderator in the Paladins Discord, and he has his own server as well, go check it out in the description. You can win it by subscribing and leaving a comment on this video. Now let's get started. Items. Paladins items is a mid-match shop you can open up and spend your credits on. Credits are gained during the match by performing well and will reset when a new match starts. This guide will be a fast explanation of what items you should buy and why it will help you. The first thing to talk about is the 4 different categories: defense, utility, healing and offense. You can only buy one card from each row and upgrade them to level 3 at max. While most people seem to pick defensive cards before any other, offensive cards are actually the go-to in most cases. Starting from there, here's a fast explanation of all the cards. Deft Hands will increase your reload speed by 20, 40 and 60%. Cold Rush will negate healing on the enemies you hit for 30, 60 and 90% over a 1.5 second duration. Wrecker will give you increased damage to shields, and Bolters will do the same but with deployables. New players tend to go Deft Hands, but what you actually want to pick up in most cases is Cold Race. The only champion who is good with Deft Hands is Maldamba, since he throws a stunning snake while reloading. Reloading faster equals more snakes, and who doesn't love snakes? The reason to this is that at level 3 you almost negate all healing on the enemy team, and that can be a huge amount. Ying, who would normally heal 420 health per second with an illusion, will only heal 42 health per second instead, therefore pick Cold Race over Deft Hands. Wrecker should only be picked by one teammate with a maximum of 2 and will only be effective against real shields. This includes Fernando's, Ashes, Khan's, Barrack's, Torvald's and Makoa's shield, with Makoa and Barrack not being a must pick against. Bulldozer does the same but with deployables. Deployables is things like Barrack's turrets, Ying's illusions, Inara's wall and warden field, and small stuff like Bomb King's bombs, Kinesis mines and Vivian's sense drones. If the enemy team has a lot of these, you might pick Bulldozer instead of Cold Race or Wrecker. Offensive cards are good to upgrade to level 2 before choosing a new card. The next card category should be whatever you prefer. Here I'll just explain the healing cards. Veteran increases your health regeneration after getting out of combat. This card should never really be picked. Life Rip gives you life back as you damage other players. This card is very situational and is currently only good on high DPS champions. For God's sake, don't pick Life Rip on tanks. Cold Race affects this card. Kill to heal describes itself: kill an enemy and you get healed. Assist counts as well. This item can get picked when you either don't have a support on your team and you get a lot of kills, or when you know your support is too busy healing 2 tanks and others to spare some healing for you. Cold Race affects this card too. Rejuvenate is probably the best card to pick in this category, especially for tanks. It increases your healing by other players and will directly negate Cold Race. This means that if you have Rejuvenate 3, which gives 30% increased healing, and you get hit by Cold Race 3 that reduces your healing by 90%, you will only get 60% reduced healing. Tanks should nearly always pick this when they have a support. Next up is utility cards. Nimble is increased movement speed, Chronos is reduced cooldown on your abilities, Morale Boost increases the rate at which you get your ultimate back, and Master Riding makes your horse never skip leg day. Most champions can pick whatever they feel comfortable with, but support should nearly always go with Chronos, except for Ying and Sirius who's better off with Morale Boost. I personally like Nimble. Defensive cards is always a good pick when you take just a bit too much damage. Haven reduces direct damage and Blast Shield reduces blast damage. Note that even if you get hit directly by, let's say, a Virgo's rocket, it still counts as blast damage. I'll leave a chart in the description so you can see what abilities do what kind of damage. Resilience reduces the effect of crowd controls. You may be asking, what is crowd control? Well, that stuns, slows, polymorphs and a lot of other stuff, basically just debuffs. This is a good pick against a team who has a lot of these abilities. Illuminate is the last card in the row and it just helps you see stealth champions easier. These are Sky, Shadin and Strix. Not a very good card in my opinion, but who knows, maybe it will help you defeat that annoying Sky that keeps flanking you. That was all for this guy. Small notes before this video ends. Polymorphs can only be reduced to a 2-second duration, so sometimes Resilience 3 isn't worth it. Knockbacks counts as crowd control. Your reload speed can't get buffed more than 60%, and you can't buy Deft Hands and champions who can't use it, for example Grover and Shalin. Thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time and enjoy.